Good Wednesday evening, everyone. Just want to give you an update on our potential for severe weather in the coming days and let you know what we know right now. And what I can tell you is that pretty much beginning Thursday evening, conditions are going to become favorable for severe weather in our neck of the woods. And so from Thursday evening all the way through pretty much Saturday evening, conditions are going to be favorable. Now, whether or not we'll actually see severe weather materialize, we always have to just kind of wait and see on that. But it's good to be aware that dangerous storms could be in the area. So let's just get right to it. So, Thursday evening, guidance is suggesting strong to severe thunderstorms in eastern Kentucky. Now, will those develop this far south? That's pretty unclear at this point because we're going to have a warm layer of air aloft. We call that the cap. And it looks like that's going to hold. Now, if I lived along and north of a line from, say, Livingston to Jamestown to Oneida, I'd probably be a little bit more leery about the potential for a severe thunderstorm in my area for Thursday evening. And this particular snapshot is at about 7 p.m. So we'll see what happens with that. I do believe that most, if not all, of the thunderstorm activity will stay north of our area. But as you can see here, guidance is suggesting that it could be pretty close. And it's a little close for comfort, especially for you folks in Overton, Fentress, Pickett, and even Scott counties. So it's something to keep an eye on, that's for sure. But I think those of us down here in Cumberland County, Putnam, White, Bledsoe, even Morgan, I think are probably going to be okay, but I'll certainly monitor this. And of course, I'll always have the full update in the morning to give you the latest. But overall, this is not the greater threat for sure. So guidance once again, and this is just one model that I'm showing you. There's other pieces of data and just what we know from this evolving situation that leads us to believe that severe weather is certainly going to be possible. This Friday morning situation is kind of new in the guidance. And so, again, like the Thursday evening episode, it looks like much, if not all of this, will also stay in Kentucky and points north even. But we could see some of this develop southward. And you'll see there's some little blurbs there in that guidance, and that just shows you that it's a model, so it has its issues, but it does suggest, and other guidance as well does, that there's a little bit better chance that we could see some thunderstorms in our neck of the woods Friday morning, and this is at about 7 a.m. But you can give or take a couple of hours with this being this particular model, so that could be another time frame to kind of keep in the back of your mind and keep an eye on the radar in this time frame. But the greater threat will likely come Friday evening. Okay, so you see Friday afternoon there that I've got stamped there on the side, and your eyes are drawn to the west. Now, first of all, there's that little system that went through in the morning going over into Virginia. But then you go westward and you see some thunderstorms around western Kentucky, and then another line developing in southeast Kentucky. Now, that line is what I'm most concerned about, because that developing in the afternoon would be arriving here during the night Friday, and that could be a rough ride. We do watch these things. We're in it's the perfect time of the year to be concerned about this kind of thing. A squall line dropping from the northwest that brings the risk of damaging straight line winds and large hail. So usually not much of a flood threat because they move too quick. And brief spin up tornadoes are possible, but usually the straight line winds associated with these are so strong that you don't really worry about the tornado threat, because the straight line winds are just as damaging as a weak tornado. So we're talking, sometimes these systems can carry wind gusts 70, 80 miles per hour or higher. Will we see that? We have to wait and see as more guidance comes in, but the potential is certainly there. We have a stalled boundary that'll be draped across the region. It's going to be very warm. It's going to be very humid. And we have some jet stream energy coming in. So that's all the classic setup. It's a classic setup for a squall line event to come through. So it's something to keep an eye on. Hopefully, things will change and we'll see this kind of weaken down. But you see those strong winds coming into western Tennessee and western Kentucky by Friday evening, and you see the jet stream kind of goes northeast over Ohio, but then it keeps going eastward over Tennessee. Perfect situation for lots of divergence aloft, as we call it. Really helping the storms breathe and grow and become stronger, and that can lead to a squall line. The good thing about squall lines is they're quick, so it's kind of hold your breath and let them blow through, and then we go on. But I will say that the National Weather Service in Nashville is already advising of the potential for widespread damaging winds. So that can mean long duration power outages if this materializes to the extreme. So be aware of that. This is Friday night. This is the most concerning time as of now. So I'll keep an eye on things and I'll keep you all posted, and I'll have a fresh update first thing in the morning. You just keep it right here, Meteorologist Mark.